Hey young people, McMurray here. So it's Friday and I thought I'd bring you something a little special. I thought I would read to you the first few pages of my book, The Truth About Romantic Comedies. So I hope you enjoy. It's raining, but I like rain. No, I'm not one of those emo kids who wears black all the time and likes to watch the sky cry. And before you ask, I'm not eternally depressed. I just enjoy the rain and the thunder and the lightning. I like when a gargantuan thunderstorm, the kind that rains diagonally and with meaning, darkens a bright sunny day. I tried to explain this to my girlfriend once. She said I was weird. Did I say girlfriend? Sorry, I forgot my most hated prefix. What I meant to say is I tried to explain this to my ex-girlfriend, and she said I was weird. I thought she meant it in an endearing way, like she found it cute or something. Apparently, she didn't. 2 days later, I got a text message. 12 words and a period. I'm sorry, but I don't want to go out with you anymore. Something seemed to shift beneath me, like my bed was opening up to swallow me whole. We just screamed our butts off with the rest of the student section, while our high school's basketball team demolished our bitter rivals. When the final buzzer sounded, she'd taken my face in both hands and kissed me like we were being blown up on a jumbotron, and she wanted to make all those other spectators jealous. So curse my optimism. I thought it was a joke, like one of her friends that got hold of her phone and was trying to cause some fake drama for laughs. I texted back, LOL, see you tomorrow. Lexi texted back, I'm serious, Tim. Me, for real. Her, yes. Me, why? No response. Crappy, right? It's been 7 days, and every time I think about her text, I want to rage on my phone. She won't even talk to me. We're over, and everybody in the world seems to realize it but me. And I want to. I want us to be over it. I want to move on and all that stuff, but I can't. My aching heart won't let me. If she would just tell me why, I can move on. As it is, she's forcing me to guess the reasons, and my increasingly fragile self-esteem is beginning to assume the worst. Curse my pessimism. I kind of wish my bed had swallowed me, ground my body to pieces, and painted the walls in a crappy horror movie version of my blood. But I digress. I like the rain because I like water. And I don't mean because we need it for survival, but because water doesn't care. Water doesn't worry about the future or what other people think, at least not in its liquid state. It just goes with the flow. I want to be like that. I want to reach a state of existence where I can take the path of least resistance without a care in the world. I could be the rain gathering a creek bed before uniting with a lake, or maybe the water spouting endlessly onto the sidewalk from a broken fire hydrant, providing hours of free entertainment for local kids. It's like the Buddha searching for some higher level of consciousness. According to my history teacher, Mr. Mabry, the Buddha claimed to have found that plane when he reached nirvana. But as my best friend Brandon put it, who wouldn't when you're surrounded by crab rangoon and General Tso's chicken? Well, whatever is on the menu, I want to find that plane and live there. If the reason behind my affinity for the elemental compound composed of 2 hydrogen atoms and 1 oxygen atom is too pretentious for you, let me offer another theory. Perhaps my affinity for water is a product of my environment. I'm a 4th-generation resident of the one and only Starling, Ohio. My father and his father and his father were all born and raised in the sprawling village. This little town of mine, located on the Great Miami River, began as a brief stopping point between Cincinnati and Dayton, but has since grown and commercialized, much like Charlie Brown's wimpy Christmas tree. The hill on which my trailer perches slowly descends to the west bank. About a football field or two from my bedroom window, the flowing black river snakes its way towards Cincinnati. My grandfather, God rest his Starlinger soul, loved that river so much he bought a double wide and parked it where he'd always have a view of the small fishing boats trolling its banks. I'm sure it had nothing to do with the fact he lost a leg to Vietnam in exchange for a measly amount of government sustenance. When I was a kid, I used to imagine our double wide was an old boat that had run aground after a massive flood. My own personal ark. I fell in love with water when I was a kid, long before I cared that I lived in a double wide, and before I realized trailers only belonged in economically segregated communities known as trailer parks. My girlfriend, ex-girlfriend, didn't seem to care about that, even though she lives in a beautiful brick house in the wealthier part of town. Maybe that's why I loved her so much, or maybe it was the blonde hair and curvy figure. To be honest with you, it wasn't her curves, though. Though they were nice to behold, it was the way I felt when I woke up in the morning, like I finally had something to wake up for. That all ended with the text message. Why? To complicate things further, the only memento I have of our ill-fated relationship is a dog-eared paranormal romance novel about vampires and the nubile young girls who love them. She gave it to me a day before sending the dreaded text message. I accepted the book with a smile, though I had no intention of reading it. But now I'm sitting in the waiting room at the Kutcher Cancer Center, a yellow brick building that serves customers of the tumorous variety, with the book lying open in my lap. The main character, your typical angsty yet beautiful teenager, has somehow neglected to consider the option that her mysterious gentleman caller might be an undead vampire. The signs are all there. He has fangs, never eats normal food, hates garlic, but she passes it off as if it's his Canadian quirkiness. My leg shakes like a caffeine addict on his second day without coffee, and it isn't because Mammal's taking forever. Lexi gave no indication of what she's about to do. Or did she? Maybe the signs were all there, but I was too stupid to see them. I want to stand up and scream, "Run, girl, he'll suck the life out of you." Instead, I read, page after page, hoping for a sign from Lexi to spring out of the book. A girl of the undead variety plops down in the chair beside me. She has a pixie cut that has been dyed a bright purple. I didn't see her come in. "That book should come with a warning," the girl says. I stare blankly at her for a second. What? "That book should come with a warning, like the ones on cigarette cartons." "Why?" I turn the book over, but the back cover is only a blurb and an ISBN number. No warning label. She sits back. "Young girls have gotten crazy ideas from such books, you know. All sorts of foolish notions of love and romance and wishes fulfilled without collateral damage." "Really?" I say, brows raised in mock surprise. "They're fantasy, i.e. not real. Anyway, I'm a dude. I guess I'm immune." She fakes a sigh of relief and wipes invisible perspiration off her brow. "Phew, you had me worried there. I thought you were a moldable young girl." My attention returns to the page. A few moments later, the undead girl interrupts me. "If you don't mind me asking, why are you reading that? I could be wrong, but I'm not sure you're in the author's target audience." Why am I reading this book? In hope of some kind of cosmic connection to my ex-girlfriend that will convince her that she made the worst mistake of her life? I can't tell this girl that. She seems like the kind of person who would accept that kind of explanation without question, but still. "Homework assignment," I say. She looks skeptical, but doesn't press the matter. "Where do you go to school?" "Starling High." "Really? I live in Starling," she says with a tiny bit of excitement. "I don't think I've seen you at school." There's no think about it. I haven't seen her. You can't miss a bright purple pixie cut. "I don't go to Starling High School. I go to Starling Christian Academy," she says. "Oh. Are they even allowed to read vampire novels at her school?" She straightens her back and folds her hands, black nail polish with tiny specks of purple glitter in her lap. "You seem surprised. Do you find me unbecoming of a Christian school attendee?" I shrug. "Well, the purple hair and everything." "There isn't a command against dyeing your hair." "Are you sure?" "I think it was the 11th. I clear my throat and do my best Moses impression. "Thou shalt not dye thy hair." She laughs again. I could totally get used to her laugh. The door that leads to the radiation room swings open, and out hobbles my grandmother, a hanging flowery dress and a bob of gray hair. Mammal, in the early stages of Alzheimer's and prone to epic spurts of vulgarity, walked into our living room one day and announced she'd found a rock in her boob. She opened her blouse right there and commanded Mom to feel. She was wrong. It wasn't a rock. It was a tumor. Since then, she had a single mastectomy and is now receiving radiation to prevent the cancer from spreading. Since Mom works second shift, it's my job to take Mammal for treatment. For the past 2 weeks, I've spent roughly an hour here after school every weekday. A male nurse holds the outdoors for Mammal. He waves goodbye and says, "I'll see you at the same time tomorrow, Eileen." Mammal moves as if she's trying to flee the nurse, whose ID badge names him Donnie. She reaches me and I stand to help her with her coat. As I'm slipping the coat off over her shoulders, Mammal leans close and says, in her uncontrollably loud whisper, "That pervert copped a feel and then took photos of my boobs. I think he's going to put them on that web thing." She flashes a glare in Donnie's direction. Mammal's whisper isn't exactly a whisper, so everyone in the waiting room hears it, including Donnie, who takes it in stride. I gently place my arm around Mammal. "That machine was curing cancer, not taking photographs, okay?" "Oh," she nods. Then she looks back at Donnie, waves and whispers in my ear, every bit as loud. "I still don't trust the guy." I shrug at Donnie. He smiles politely and shuts the door. Purple Pixie Cut is laughing to herself. She points to Mammal and mouths, "I like her." "That's two of us," I say. Mammal makes for the exit, and I'm right behind her when I hear the Prixie cut. "Hey, paranormal romance guy." I turn around. "The name's Rachel," she says, extending her hand. Her hand is soft, and it fits nicely in mine. "Tim." "I'll see you around, Tim." Pulling away, she glances at the closed vampire book I hold at my side. "Enjoy the book, but remember, you've been warned." So that's it. That's the first chapter of my book, The Truth About Romantic Comedies. I apologize, I didn't do a great reading of it, but I'm not that best reader. I'm a better writer than I'm a reader. So I hope you enjoyed that. If you want to check it out, you can click the links below. All right, and you can hopefully get yourself a copy or go to the library and get yourself a copy. If you do read it, make sure you leave me a review. I really appreciate that. Thanks for watching. God bless.